Hello my beautiful viewers, how are you guys and girls doing? I hope very good. Today I decided to make a little update about the sweet relationship that I had with sugar, stevia and all that. As you know, if you're following my YouTube channel, I quit stevia about, when was it? About a couple months ago probably. And what happened was I kept going to it a little bit because you can't quit the sweet taste because we don't have anything that provides us with sweet taste now that we're on the ketogenic diet. I realized that I needed that a little bit. So what I did is I intermittently kept having little stevia every 3 days, and I did also a little bit of mesquite. So what I realized, this is something very interesting, and I think it's gonna help a lot of people. What I noticed is the day that I have a drink with stevia, 1, 2, or 3 days later, I get a craving for sugar, for breaking my ketogenic diet or having too much fruit. Like I'll have berries in the morning, I'll want to have more, or like I'm thinking about bread, or it gives you those thoughts of sugar or carbs. And the days that I didn't have the stevia or the mesquite, 2, 3, 4 days later, I didn't have those cravings. So what I'm realizing, I was thinking myself, I'm thinking, okay, how does this work really in the body? So I'm not a scientist, but I am a curious human being with a little bit of logic in my head, and I try to explain things, So what I thought is, how does the brain signal the body? When sweet hits your tongue, what happens? So I was thinking about it, I'm like, is it an electrical signal that if you don't satisfy, goes away? I don't think so. I think it's more of a secretion. So just follow me on this. I might be right, I might be wrong, but I'm sharing with you my opinion and what I think happens in the brain when sweet hits your taste buds. So this is completely in agreement of what I've been experiencing. So when I realized that I was having the stevia with an empty drink with no calories in it, like zero, like I will do an iced tea or something and put stevia in it, I think there were secretions from the brain into the body telling the body a promise for calories. Calories coming from carbohydrates, not from fat, because fat doesn't taste sweet. So I think the body accumulates that signal and keeps accumulating, and those little secretions stay somewhere waiting to be fulfilled. It's like promises. And those are really empty promises. So I think the main reason, I'm not sure, but this is what I've experienced. My previous binging, I think it started when I started doing diet this, diet cola, diet soda, and diet this and diet that, because I was fooling my body into telling it, hey, I'm going to give you calories from carbohydrates, and I didn't. So with time, that turned into 3, 4 days, 5 days later, my body's like, hey, where are the calories you promised me from carbohydrates? The fat didn't do it because that signal is different. It's not sweet, The calories from carbohydrates never came. So what happened is every now and then I would go and binge on like severe amounts of sugar. And now I'm realizing that. So if you think about it, we cannot fool our bodies and tell them, hey, here's a sweet, empty sweet, because in nature there's nothing sweet really that doesn't have carbohydrates and high calories. There's really nothing. Everything that's sweet has carbohydrates and energy. So you're telling your body by giving it empty like sweetness, aspartame or stevia or any sweetener that's artificial and that's 0 calorie, you're telling your body, I'm going to give you energy from carbohydrates, and you don't. And those secretions from the brain to the body, they accumulate somewhere, I don't know where, and they never get fulfilled. And what happened? They turned into binges. I think that's what happened. This is my opinion, and I'm experiencing that right now. My desire for sweet is going down, and even that stevia, I'm starting to stay away from it. Stevia is a healing herb. It heals a lot of diseases, and it's 400 or 200 times sweeter than sugar. So you can't really eat a lot of it. And it's a carbohydrate, of course, it's a leaf. So I think it was born on the planet to heal certain things. So you'll eat a little real stevia that's unprocessed, not a powder one. The leaf, you eat one and it's super, super sweet. You can't eat more than 1 or 2 leaves. But the rest of the carbohydrates on earth that are sweet, they're very high in energy. So when the body, you give it that sweet flavor in your mouth, you're telling it, I'm going to give you high energy from carbs, and then you fool it. It's an empty promise. What happens is the body doesn't, those secretions stay somewhere and they accumulate and they turn into a signal back in the brain telling you, let's go binge because you haven't given me what you told me. And that will hinder your advancement into losing weight, into straightening your diet, into doing a lot of things. It's true that once you've come from a very high carbohydrate diet, you cannot remove the sugars because your microbiome, your bacteria, your candida's very high. So you have to gradually go to high sugar fruits, then lower that slowly, then low sugar fruits, then you can put the stevia and quit the sugar completely. But there's a process, I have it under my blog. So what I'm doing right now is, if I have stevia 2-3 days later, it asks me for something sweet. I've bought a coconut, a whole coconut. I broke it, and you peel it. I leave the second shell. It's really good. And I just eat coconut, Coconut is very high in fiber, very super high in fats, saturated fats, which is excellent, very healthy. And it harnesses the power of the sun. It's very white. That's the sun. Because the coconut trees are so high up in the air, in the sky, and the sun hits the coconut, and to protect itself from the bacteria and things like that, to grow a flesh, what happens is it accumulates the power of the sun. This is the best antibacterial. It levels candida. It helps you with your cravings and everything. It has a lot of fiber too. So this is what I've been eating when I get the desire for sweet, or when I do stevia. The days that I don't do stevia, I notice 2, 3, 4 days later, I don't even think about sweet. In fact, I forgot to mention last time when I talked about sweet in my other video about stevia, quitting stevia, I forgot to mention that throughout my research, I found out that sugar was a condiment. Has never been, there were no dishes that were sweet. It was a condiment, like using cinnamon or any spice. So, and they didn't even grow it. There was no sugar. It had to be imported. So it is just lately that we've been abusing sugar, in the last few hundred years. But before, there was no sugar. Pretty much all the food was plain. The fruits, as you know, I've already disclosed in my previous video, fruit didn't have sugar. It was bitter. It was tart. It had big seed and little flesh, and it was very citrusy. All fruit. Even the biggest fruits that you see in the market right now, apples were like tiny like this, oranges were super small, and they were bitter and acidic, So the sweet didn't really exist much in nature. It is just recently that humans have been abusing from sugar, Anyways, I hope this has helped you. So if you are feeling that the cravings are not going away, the binging is not going away, the self-sabotage, try removing stevia, and do not give a promise to your body that's empty for calories coming from carbohydrates, and not fulfill on that promise. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this video has helped you make better choices and decisions about your food, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and give this video a like. I'll see you soon. Bye.